Hi, this is Heath Jones from Music Technology Teacher Network with part two of the session that I'll be presenting at the Georgia Music Educators Association conference in January called Advocating for a Music Technology Curriculum. I know the first part one of the session, if you had a chance to watch that, kind of came to an abrupt end, but I think hopefully I made the point that it's important when advocating for a music technology curriculum that teachers, it all begins with the teachers and understanding exactly what the music technology is and what it isn't, and what it offers to students that you aren't currently offering at your school. So in the second part of this, I'm going to jump in to the part where once you've convinced yourself that it's time to start advocating for a music technology curriculum, that it's time now to go talk to some administrators or to the deciders. And when you go to talk to them, what are some things or what's some resources and data that you can take to them that will maybe get their attention and help you in creating a music technology program at your school. So being from the state of Georgia and presenting this at the Georgia Music Educators Association convention, a lot of the statistics that I'm using are specifically aimed at the state of Georgia, but I think you could, with a little research, apply a lot of this to many areas of the country. So one of the things I think is really important to get administrators and stakeholders to understand is that music technology is a very viable career field for students. I know sometimes I often said to my band students in the many years that I was a band director that I knew very well that most of them were not going to go out and become band directors or even become performers. And that's totally okay. But with music technology, there really are a lot of career possibilities out there that fall under the umbrella of music technology. One of the things that's happening in my state, in Georgia, over the last 7 or 8 years is that the movie and television and media industry has just exploded. Georgia, thanks to some laws that were passed by a General Assembly that are giving pretty big tax breaks to these industries that come in and create their television shows and movies and things like that in the state of Georgia. So recently in 2016, it was reported that Georgia is ranked number 3 in the United States for film production and number 5 in the world, which I find really pretty amazing. In the state of Georgia, we've had over $7 billion in economic input from this industry. The average salary for film industry workers, $84,000. A lot of this data was collected from a television show that one of our big local television stations produced called Georgia Goes Hollywood that was just produced in 2017. So a year after these statistics were reported, that $7 billion in economic input had gone up to $9 billion. They estimated that over 85,000 people in the state of Georgia are employed by the film industry. Movie Maker Magazine, which is one of the industry publications of the movie and media and television industry, reported that Atlanta was voted the number 1 best place to live and work as a movie maker, and Savannah in South Georgia was ranked as the best small town to live and work as a movie maker. It's been pretty amazing. Here in the state of Georgia, they have produced several of the Avengers movies in Atlanta. We've seen Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and many of those people wandering around some of the restaurants and stuff in Atlanta as they're filming. The Walking Dead, which is a very popular show from streaming television, is filmed in Sonoya, Georgia. And recently Stranger Things, which was a very popular program on, I think, Netflix, was also filmed in Georgia. There are just a tremendous number of films that are happening in the industry. And so when we talk about music technology fields, we're not just talking about sitting in a music studio somewhere recording performers and producing records, but we're talking about people who work as sound designers or sound editors, where they're creating soundtracks and sound effects for these movies. Even people that are working in performance, that are, studio engineers and recording engineers, and understand how to use microphones and set up microphones, to the editing process and marketing process. It's truly a huge field in this area. Some more data. This was from several years ago. Georgia Tech, which is one of the premier engineering schools, colleges in the country, in 2017, or I guess academic year 2016-2017, started a undergraduate degree in music technology. That is all based on computer engineering, computer programming, robotics. They're really doing some amazing things with the Georgia Tech Music Technology program that fall beyond that area of entertainment, music and movies and media. But as they approached the Board of Regents in Georgia about establishing this new major, they had to come up with a report basically justifying the creation of a new major at Georgia Tech. And the data they came up with was really, I think, pretty amazing. So they contracted with a company called Burning Glass that tracked changes in the numbers of job postings in Georgia and nationally between 2007 and 2012. They required a bachelor's degree with core skills tied closely to music technology. So we're not even talking about someone that was a music technology major, but with those core skills, or the 21st century skills that we discussed in part one. And what they found was that nationally there was a 225% growth in postings from 2007 to 2012. And with Georgia, there was an even stronger growth of 250%. So even though this is aimed for our Georgia music educators, anywhere in the country, we're seeing strong job growth and job demand in careers that have these music technology skills. And, from 2012 to 2017, in just 5 years, as I said, the economic development, the economic impact of that industry in the state of Georgia is just exploding. Later on in the study, he makes a statement, or actually I guess this was a different study from William Rial, who stated that the music industry is changing in a way that is dependent on technology, with Georgia having both the talent and technology to thrive in the new environment. If you think about when we're talking about the music industry, anybody that uses Pandora or uses Spotify, Apple has a streaming music service. Amazon has a streaming music service. And these services, like so many other things on the internet, are based on algorithms. So if you listen to Spotify or Pandora, and the more you click like or not like on the music that you listen to, the better these streaming services are at sending you music that you're going to like. It's kind of like when you go on a website and you were searching for a gift for your wife or girlfriend for Valentine's Day, and for the next 4 months you keep seeing ads popping up wherever you go, for jewelry and perfume and whatnot. Well, all these things are based on algorithms. Algorithm is put simply, is just a way of sorting information. So in the case of Spotify or Pandora, you have to have someone who mathematically understands algorithms, and someone who understands computer engineering and programming, so that they can program the algorithm. And they also have to understand enough about music that they know what the algorithm needs to be looking for. Because if you think about sorting music, you could very simply, you could sort music by key. So if you take all the music that's available, out there, and you can sort it by key, well, you can go, well, I want all the songs that are in the key of G major, and then all the songs that are in the key of D major. Well, you can further sort those down sort those into major and minor tonalities, which gives you another layer of sorting in the music. Then you can look at instrumentation. So, maybe you have just vocal groups, and others are just instrumental, and then combinations, and then rhythmic patterns, and it goes on and on. And the level of sophistication that these algorithms use with these streaming music services is pretty incredible. But all this was done by students of music technology. So again, a viable career field. At this point in Georgia, we don't have a lot of four-year institutions that are offering music technology degrees, even though there are many, many small certificate programs around Atlanta and around the state, from the SAE, the School of Audio Engineering, which has locations around the country and around the world, to the Atlanta Institute of Music and Media. You have Pro Media Training in Atlanta, which offers certification for Pro Tools and other industry standard programs. But we do have schools that are offering music technology degrees. Georgia State University, which is located in Atlanta, offers an audio engineering and production degree in music technology. And literally just a few blocks away at Georgia Tech, you have another major university that's offering a music technology undergrad. But the Georgia Tech is offering their music tech degree that splits into three areas: acoustic vibrations, controls, and robotics. So people may leave Georgia Tech with this degree and go work for companies like, Bose or Beats, designing headphones or speakers, electrical and computer engineering, which would be, people that are going in and creating companies like Spotify and Pandora. I have my own kids. This past Christmas, I bought them 2 different games that were digital music games. One's called Drop Mix, that's really cool. And then also computing and industrial design with Georgia Tech. Georgia Southern, located in Statesboro, Georgia, does not offer a music technology undergrad degree, but they do offer a music technology minor that you can tack on to their music ed degree for 16 additional hours, which is noteworthy, I think, because while looking around and doing some research, you have the larger universities in Georgia that grant music education degrees, and this includes Georgia State, which has offers a music technology undergrad degree. That these music ed degrees require 128 to 130 hours of classwork, yet only 2 or 3 hours of these classes will cover music technology, which is a challenge, I think, as we're trying to start music technology programs in our schools. And again, kudos to Georgia Southern for at least offering the minor in music technology to go with their music undergrad degree. So it's left to a lot of us music educators to learn on our own, which is one of the reasons why I created the Music Technology Teacher Network, because everything I learned, I've had to learn by going to other people and asking and doing research. And the first 3 or 4 years that I taught were very challenging as I was just learning to get around the technology. But now that I've gotten starting to wrap my head around it a little bit, it's truly been reinvigorating for me as a teacher to go into this new tech field, or this new music field, and pull in these students that maybe typically would never take part in a music class. So those are just some statistics that I think might be useful as you're talking to administrators or other stakeholders that maybe aren't as in tune to the aesthetic and intrinsic values of music as music educators are, but from a very practical sense, as far as having students, preparing students for life and work in the 21st century, or to leave the school setting to go pursue degrees and later on jobs, that music technology is a growing and a vibrant career field for these students. So once you sell them on this idea of having a music technology class, the next step is having a plan ready. And I would suggest that you not leave it up to the administrators, but come prepared that now that I've convinced you to have this music technology class, here are some suggestions I have on how to make it happen. So in part 3, I'll be discussing that, of some strategies and resources that you can look to help fund your new music technology program. So stay tuned.